Good evening and welcome to another edition of Kim's Corner. I'm Kim Brown, your host, and today we are at the State of the South Ward address with the Honorable Ras Baraka. Stay tuned.
Folks, I need your support. Got it. So I need your support, your friends' support, your family support, because in 2014, I am running for mayor.
The name of my selection is What's in Your Hand by Reverend Dr. Adam Clayton Powell.
Yes.
This was presented in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I chose this because it reminds people that they already have the tools they will need to succeed in life. We must open our eyes,
Yes.
our hearts,
Yes.
and dream big.
Yes.
Adam Clayton Powell Jr. was born in New Haven, Connecticut on November 29, 1908. He was a Baptist preacher who succeeded his father as the pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church, the largest church in Harlem, New York. Powell also served as congressman for 25 years. In 1961, he became chairman of the Education and Labor Committee. In this position, he worked hard to help women, to support education, and to train people who were deaf. Powell also worked to pass legislation that made lynching a federal crime, as well as bills that desegregated public schools. He died on April 4, 1972. And now for my presentation. I know you're in trouble. It's said that about 30% are unemployed. That's why I am working hard to get this surplus moving. Some of you say to me, well, I'm not a congressman. I haven't got education. I haven't got work. But you are human being. And you know what you got. You got in your hand the power to use your vote. And to use even those few cents you get from welfare to spend them only where you want to spend them. Remember, a young slave boy one day stood before the greatest ruler of his day. And God said to Moses, what's in your hand? And Moses said, I have a stick in my hand. And God said, well, let me use what's in your hand. And God used that slave boy with a stick in his hand to divide the Red Sea. March through a wilderness, bring water out of rocks, manna from heaven, and bring his people to freedom land. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? Was Washington Carver, who was so frail that he was traded for a broken down as a slave boy in George Washington Park, while sitting in the science lab at Tuskegee Institute, said to me, Dr. Powell, he said, all I do is go out to the field each morning at 5 o'clock, and I let God guide. And I bring back these little things, and I work them over in my laboratory. And that man wants to revolutionize the agricultural science of peas and of cotton and the sweet potatoes that have ever been done in the field of agricultural science. What's in your head? Just like I use. That's all. What's in your head? I have this strength in my hand, and I'm flying the kite, and way up in the heavens, lightning strikes. And I, Benjamin Franklin, discovered for the first time the possibilities of electricity with a string in my hand. And what's in your hand, little hunchback sitting in a Roman jail? I have nothing in my hand except this old quill pen. But God says, write what I tell you to write. And Paul wrote, I have run my race with patience. I have finished the course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, I press on, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching to those things which are ahead. What's in your hand, little boy? All I've got
Hey, better watch Kim Corner. Don't you touch that down.
He was able to bring change to Newark Council immediately after being elected, having the skills to bring people together. Today, he stands in the doorway of history. A doorway that some believe the key is to sell. Reminds me of a quote by Marcus Garvey. There is a great deal of work to do. And it calls for sacrifice, which he does sacrifice every day. Determination, because he's a determined and outstanding young man. And part of this leadership, if men believe that money could buy us the key to leadership, they are definitely wrong. And there can be no successful achievement. I just want to let you know, this key to this doorway is not for sale. This key to this door will not be moved in. The only way to get the key to this door, you have to earn it. And today I present you the key holder. He has earned the key to this door, to this city of Newark, the Honorable Southport Councilman Ras Baraka.
Take your time, it's all right.
That young man has really did something to me this evening. John F. Kennedy said, the problems of the world cannot possibly be solved by skeptics or cynics whose horizons are limited by oblivious realities. We need men and women who can dream of things that never were.
That's right.
Jose Marti said, like stones rolling down hills, fair ideas reach their objectives despite all the obstacles and barriers. It may be possible to speed them up or hinder them, but impossible to stop them.
That's right.
To Assemblywoman Tucker, Assemblywoman Spencer, Senator Ruiz, Senator Coutinho, Assemblyman Coutinho, Speaker, Assemblyman, well, I'm talking about people that's not here. To my council colleagues, Councilman Rice, Councilwoman Mildred Crum, Assemblywoman Grace Spencer, to my mother and my father that's out Mayor Sharp James. All of the Children's First Team, those elected and those about to be elected. The mighty reverends of the South Ward. I apologize if you were a pastor in here and not from the South Ward. And to my beautiful young girls that are here with me today, my daughter Amanda, who came up from Howard University. She's on her way to France to the Cannes Film Festival. She's been accepted to Those who are workshop there. I'm here tonight to share my ideas, not to feed the growing appetite of cynics and skeptics, but to address our realities with solutions and solicit your help in turning our frustrations into possibilities and our anxieties into hope. It is my pleasure to be here for a third time by the grace of God in February 2013, some 150 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. I'm here to get you to see what I see and to convince you to believe in your city again.
Yeah. Amen.
A few days ago, I attended a meeting with the residents of Seth Boyd Elderly and Crestwood Elderly.
That's right.
The conditions that they were describing to me made my stomach turn.
Yeah. All right.
But at the same time, or earlier that day, the Newark Housing Authority held a meeting to discuss the choice neighborhood initiative scheduled for that entire area. That will transform that entire community by leveraging both public and private dollars to witness new housing, a recreation center with education and training opportunities, as well as new transportation links that will connect this part of the city to employment and economic opportunity. And so while Captain Venable, the sheriff's officers, special police, HUD, and myself sat around the table to address the day-to-day ills of a community that is long past due, we did not lose sight of how we can transform despair into optimism.
That's right.
When I arrived at Central High School, because I'm the principal there, and the councilman of the South Ward. When I arrived at Central High School to be the principal, there was graffiti all over the walls. Now there's poetry all over the walls. Children fought each other almost every day. Now children are fighting for what they believe in. I gave speeches and tried to mentor as many students as I could. Now there are student organizations where students are mentoring each other. That didn't happen because we focused on graffiti or fights. It happened because we focused on where we wanted to go in spite of the graffiti and fights. That we never lost sight of our goals. We never stopped believing in our children, no matter how terrible the times became. We never stopped believing in our school. We must do the same thing right here. We must never stop believing in our city. But more importantly, we must never stop believing in the people of this city. So tonight I'm here to report on the state of the ward. And while like Seth Boyd, we have some incredible challenges, but there are even more incredible opportunities and incredible strides being made. Proverbs 29:18, it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Somebody told me that sometimes I talk too lofty. The vision is too big. People are concerned more about the day-to-day things. But if you don't see where you're going, if you don't have a place in sight, an end in mind, a goal up ahead, you will never get there. You will spend the rest of your life erasing graffiti off the wall and breaking up fights in the hallway. So I stood on this stage last year and talked about the number of abandoned properties in our ward, the unsightliness and danger of huge structures. We even identified a few of them. Since then, we have helped to pass an abandoned property ordinance that gives the city the right to acquire some 200 abandoned properties. We also sponsored and passed a law that would increase the fines and even added jail time on people in banks that leave their property unkept and unattended over periods of time. By the end of the year, we will finally have finished our homestead ordinance that will allow you to purchase some of these homes and refurbish them and put them back on the tax rolls. But more importantly, we told you that we would demolish the building on Elizabeth Avenue in Mika, and that was done. We are ready now for the development of brand new stores on a brand new corner. We talked last year about 2 Osborne Terrace, and we put some $4.1 million in renovating a building that was riddled with crime and drugs, and now the building is brand new. And not only that, they hire Newarkers and they hire African Americans and Latinos. Off the street on Clinton Avenue and 10th Street sits 56 more units in the Hope Genesis building. That's not all. We found $60,000 to repair Madison Avenue Playground, a playground that I played in as a boy and worked there and saw that it needed to be repaired. We spent almost $500,000 to remediate a gas station on Clinton Avenue to turn it into a playground with the help of Iglesia Liberación para las Almas, the church on the corner, the Latino brothers and sisters on Fabian Place. So much for that movement. We went on to find another $750,000 to renovate the old firehouse on Clinton Place and turn the keys over to Alterique White, vice principal at Shabazz and businessman. He was once a student there, a coach at Weekway, and now is helping us run a youth development center called Leaders for Life on Clinton Place. We also found money to renovate Yelly Greer Senior Complex. But that's not enough. We need to begin to find more recreation for our seniors. And we need to begin talks with Beth Israel so they can begin to do the great work in Newark that they're doing in Orange and places in the Central Ward. So we can put care and senior housing right there so they don't have to go back and forth to the hospital. I believe in Newark. I don't know about you. I believe in Newark. With the help of the administration and BCDC, we brought in the Matthews Bakery. We brought in Snack Parking Lot on Field Heights and Avenue, provide safe and accessible parking to patrons on their way to Newark Airport, both employing Newarkers and South Ward residents. And since I have been the councilman of the South Ward, Newark South Ward nonprofits have received $1,218,945. The RRO Center, Jackie Robinson Little League, Burger Street Festival, Newark Youth Golf, and on and on and on. When people try and tell you how bad your city is, I want you to say, I believe in Newark. On March 6th, the council will vote to pass the very first Bergen, Lyons, and Clinton Avenue Improvement District. This is the first improvement district in this area in the history of this city. This will allow the businesses to pool their resources, to tax themselves, and to begin to beautify our corridors and transform our neighborhoods from broken and forgotten places to ones of vibrancy and hope. Beth Israel has agreed to give us $100,000 of startup money. City National Bank has agreed to give another $25,000 of startup money. What wonderful partners we have in the South Ward. The city of Newark has the Downtown Improvement District, the Ironbound Improvement District, the Mount Prospect Improvement District, and now Newark, welcome the South Ward Improvement District. And on Bergen Street, you heard the devastating news of lives being lost, Harding Terrace, drugs being sold on the corner, and stories of mothers who came up with the idea of organizing to sit on stoops and spots where drug dealers would be. They would go there first so they could occupy the place before the drug dealers got there. There is no building that sits there. It's called the Four Leaf Deli. It's an eyesore and a magnet for criminal activity and garbage. But on December 5th, 2012, this structure was sold to be renovated into housing and retail along with the vacant lot on Bergen and Lehigh Avenue. And it was sold to African American developers from Newark, New Jersey. In 2014, I'm running for mayor.
you.